Hello. How do you say hello and not? Oh, nice.
What? What?
Does he not look like the perfect leprechaun?
All right, I'll turn the flashers off. Oh.
Or do they just glow constantly, or do they have to flash?
I don't know. That's a good question.
There you go. Oh no, that's just off.
Yeah.
Welcome to Sunday FUNDAY. And
it's a glorious day.
Yes, a glorious. So when do you say Erin go bra?
On St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. So can I say that today, since this is our St. Patrick's Day
so.
with them? Okay.
You're the ones controlling everything.
I know. Okay, we can cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Welcome to Sunday FUNDAY.
Welcome to Sunday FUNDAY with Paul and Judy. Hope you're having a great weekend. We definitely have our gear all set for Wednesday, although I did order a blouse that has shamrocks all over it. I was so excited, but it hasn't come in. Now, it might come in for Wednesday, but it didn't come in for today. So we improvised. But we hope you're doing great, and we hope that you can hear us. And we're so excited about today's show.
We have a guest. Did you announce who it was?
Well, you know, I set up in my little promo.
Okay.
That Laura Duffek is going to be joining us. And we just want to make sure first that you hear us and see us, because we had the reason we're a couple minutes late is we had a little bit of technical difficulty, but it all worked out. So smooth sailing from here.
It's always the last minute. Who are we kidding?
I know. So anyway, we have a great show planned for you. We're very excited about our special guest. Let us know where you're from, where you're watching today. We always love to see those cities and states come through, right? And before we introduce our guest, because we don't want to forget about some of our little fun segments. Hi, Michelle. Yes, let the blarney begin. I love it.
Oh,
so
true. Been around a long time.
But
gab.
We have something to show you in keeping with our bumper stickers and bar signs. And we had a lot of contribution this week.
We did.
Yeah, we actually did. So piggybacking off of last week, you'll remember that we had a segment that was, at what age did you think that a certain age was old? So when you were a kid, at what age did you think, oh, I'll never get there? That's that someday coming around. So as a result, this is what Glenna sent in. I finally figured out what I want to be when I get older. Younger. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's just too good. So I had to start out with that one as a piggyback on to last week's show. Now from there, we had another contribution, and that was from Lori. And I love this one.
Wine will save you.
Yes. I don't know outside of what building that came in, but it's kind of perfect because that's what's in my little Yeti. And I love to toast to you guys. And then Glenna was very creative again. And how perfect for today's broadcast to see this one.
That's my kind of Irish meal. 6 pints of Guinness and a potato.
And her sister writes in, you look adorable. Hi, LaDawn. How are you? Happy St. Patrick's Day a few days early. Yes, we like to be able to celebrate whatever the occasion is. So we decided to do so.
We'll do a little plug for our friend Jim Brewer.
Oh, yeah.
Famous comedian, formerly from Saturday Night Live. He's in town in Tampa tonight with his Freedom of Laughter tour.
Which I love.
Yeah.
I love the name of the tour. We haven't, and he said, should we Uber? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And then how many hours early should we leave? Because we haven't been out in a year. So it's date night. And we're going to a comedy club.
Yes.
So.
And this is going to be a total aside, not planned for the show. But I don't know if you've ever done this. We did a garage sale yesterday because it was a citywide garage sale.
Yes.
And it was quite funny because everybody wants to haggle. I felt like I was on the border between, Nogales and, whatever you said. Will you take this for it?
Yeah.
No.
Sometimes you did.
Sometimes I did.
You sold some old golf clubs in a golf bag. The guy said $20 for the golf.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He let it go for $20.
Well, the thing I said to my friend, and I texted him, as I said, we made enough for a really nice dinner already for stuff I would have paid people to take away from us.
There's that. You're just so happy to be rid
if you've
of it.
had a garage sale or a story about it, You can write that in there.
Oh my gosh.
It might have been my first and last
Garage sale. I got out of Dodge. I said, "You probably need my help, don't you?" No, go do
No,
what you're.
good.
Okay, good. Thank you. So anyway, welcome to the show. Without further ado, let us introduce you to a very good friend. And in the little promo that I set up, I said, I've known this beautiful woman for almost 30 years. We were chatting. She put a cute promotion on her Facebook page. And she said, I haven't touched base with you guys in such a long time, but I have an announcement. This is going to be such a fun weekend. And she said something about, when we were talking, she said, Judy Crowell and I were on the phone for 2.5 hours.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, we had 30 years of catching up.
It was more than a practice session. And by the way, that means that you've known Laura longer than you've known me.
I know. This is true. This is very true. You were not in the picture at the time that she and I met. So, but Laura,
so we don't even know if she approves.
How are you, good friend? It's good to see you.
Look at this.
Look at her green drink. I love it.
Is that an Appletini?
Cheers.
That is a Shamrock Fizz.
Nice.
A Shamrock Fizz.
I got all fancy for this show, I'm telling you.
You did.
Do a martini and just do the green olives. Would that be green enough?
As long as there's alcohol, I think it's approved.
No, I love it. I love it. And I texted her this morning and I said, oh, you're talking about, okay, what time is it going to be my time? She's Central Time. She said, okay, so it's 11 o'clock my time. I said, I'll try to hook up with you, make sure our connection, our lighting, our sound is good, and that we can even make the connection. And I said, oh, by the way, I almost forgot. We're doing St. Patrick's Day, so bring some green, and you got to bring something to toast with because we always toast. She's like, got it.
I brought the red hair for the Irish too.
She gives and she gives.
That's awesome. Well, there are going to be a lot of people who want to say hi to you, and I'm so glad you're here. And the funny thing is, all the stuff that we talked about, it's like, that's too good. I have to write this down and remember to bring it all up again on Sunday. So anyway.
And I hope we're going to have stories that Paul doesn't even know about.
Uh-oh.
I have a feeling you're going to bring up some.
Listen, there's a lot I don't know.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
Okay, Laura. So let's have some fun. All right. Because I have a zillion pictures I want to show. So I'm going to take us down and I'm going to bring up a really cool, fun picture that I want you to describe, because you on Shop NBC, Evine, Shop HQ, Evine, Shop HQ.
That was right, though. I think that order was right.
You were the home guru.
Yeah.
The home goods guru.
And you know what? I can't see the pictures you're putting up, so I don't know which one.
Oh, okay. Okay. This is you and Allison, and you are swallowed up by towels.
Yes. I mean, wasn't that a beautiful set, though?
Yeah.
You want towels.
I know.
Job of doing that. Yeah, I was a host there. Well, first of all, we were hosts at QVC together. Then I went to, at the time it was Value Vision, and was a host. And then we became Shop NBC, and I was there for a little over 10 years. Then I left, went and was a host at Worldwide Shopping Source, which was a very small network, didn't last very long. Then went to Jewelry Television, was a host there for a little while. Then came back to, I think at that point it became Shop HQ. And I was brought back, dear friend of ours, Paul Kelly, asked me if I would come back and spearhead their home division because it needed kind of an overhaul. And so for the next 10, 12 years, I worked in home. But what a lot of people don't know is when I wasn't on the air at Shop HQ, I was traveling around the world. I worked in Australia. I worked in London. I worked in Canada. I was on a jet plane all the time. It was exhausting. And then about a year ago, the management team came back to me and said, we need you to come back and be a host. And so I was a host there until I was laid off in March. So It's been a long, long career, and I am eternally grateful to the home shopping fans that are out there. It has been a hoot. It has been a lot of fun.
Look at this. And I know you said you can't see the pictures on the screen, but ironically, Jorge Perez just wrote in, Buenos dias. So happy to see Laura. Kiss, hug. And up on the screen at the very time is you and Jorge together with Waterford all around you.
Yeah, what a beautiful show. And I hope during the show we can talk about stuff behind the scenes that a lot of people, they may not know that's going on, because live TV is anything but simple and normal and runs par for the course. It gets cuckoo crazy.
Yeah.
The shopping channels were the original reality show as far as I'm concerned.
True.
Yeah.
Very true, Paul.
Even before we had the dump button, some of the things that got on the air were pretty spectacular.
Yeah. I mean, and we've all had bloopers where we're
Yes.
like, oh my God. And there's a blooper that I remember from over 20 years ago that to this day, I'm still mortified over. So we could do all kinds of things.
Do you want to share that with the class?
Please.
It would be kind of fun.
Paul's like, please tell.
Come on.
So it was very late at night, and I'm talking about like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was exhausted, absolutely exhausted. And you guys are going to remember this, Paul and Judy, and for everyone at home, what happens sometimes in this business is it's like one side of your brain just keeps talking and doing what we need to do, and the other side of your brain is like doing other things. It's like you're two different people. Well, at that point, I knew how tired I was. And there was this beautiful young model next to me. I was doing a fashion show. And she had on a long skirt that we were selling. And there was a kick pleat in the back, a long kick pleat, because the skirt was so long. And so in my head, I kept thinking, I should tell everyone, the audience, that even though it's a very long skirt, you'll be able to move because of this pleat in the back. But I was so darn tired that my brain thought I told her, first of all, I said, can you turn around? She did. And in my brain, I thought I told her, show the kick pleat. But instead I said, could you spread your leg?
It's a reasonable request.
Come
back in. Yeah, I didn't mean it.
And the camera guys, I can see the camera guys behind me going, one of these. I put my head down. I look at the model, and she's laughing with her leg kicked out to the side, showing the pleat. But she's laughing because she knows that I'm on the verge of tears, and I'm going, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. To this day, mortified that came out of my mouth.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's so good. You're right. We absolutely all have them, and they're the best. The bloopers are what everybody loved. And didn't they at one point?
They made a reel.
They made a reel of just bloopers.
Oh, please don't tell me that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're on it. I think that.
Well, you were perfect. So.
Oh yeah. Well, so I'm sure I didn't make the reel.
Yeah, no.
Not quite.
Oh, listen, when my mom, when I was single, and my mom says, "What about Judy? She's just the best host. She never says and she's the best host ever." I said, "Well, thanks, Mom." She says, "Well, you're good too."
Many of the viewers out there know my mom, Jean. I talk about her quite a bit. You were so nice to ask about her. She's going to be 94 this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you never want to ask. I think this is why so many people love her. And I've had hosts that will be like, I'm calling, but I'd like to talk to your mom first.
Oh, how cute.
But she tells it like it is. Yeah. And since I've been in TV for what seems like 1,000 years, she doesn't hold back. Mamas never hold back. They tell it like it is.
Yeah. You're so right. And I can remember my mom, and they're the ones who can just be very frank, very real. I can remember one time, I don't know what it was about, but she said, gosh, things sure are beautiful this week. And that must've been my word that I kept. So it really makes you pitch yourself every time you're getting ready to say, and it's so wonderful. This is the best. It's like a virtual shock. Yeah. And then you stop saying it because it's in the back of your mind as, oh, yeah, she's right. I'm in a really bad habit, Yeah.
And you know what? Speaking of parents, I have to tell everyone about Judy's mom and dad.
Oh.
Who I know. And when Judy and I were both hosts at QVC 1,000 years ago, we did one. First of all, I want everyone to know, and Paul, you know this because you're married to this great lady, what a sweetheart she really is. Because when I got to QVC, there was a lot of change going on at QVC. it was really starting to become something. And so there was a lot of things going on and a lot of recognition. And it was easy to kind of get lost in the shuffle. But this sweet lady held out a hand of friendship. She was the first one who said, let's go to lunch. Let's get together. You're new. You don't have anyone in town. She was really, really fantastic. And so one weekend that we both had off, she said, why my mom and dad were coming into town. So was her mom and dad. And she said, you've never been to Cape May. Let's rent for a
New
short
Jersey.
weekend.
Okay.
New Jersey, Cape May, New Jersey.
Yep.
Let's rent a house so we can all be together. And it was such a wonderful experience for my mom and dad. We had a ball of fun. It was so great. Her mom and dad so gracious. She was so gracious to my parents, but her dad said something that to this day has stuck with me. And he was a very wise man. And Judy and I were talking about the business and how competitive it is and, getting all caught up in that. And her dad said, look, there's always going to be someone smarter, prettier, better, all the list. He went down the whole list. So the point is, you've always got to be you. You've always got to do you. Because while you're looking at someone else and saying, but somebody's looking at you and saying, so stick within your own bubble, do you. Mm-hmm. And it was such good advice from a businessman.
Yeah, it's interesting what sticks with you, isn't it?
And by the way, I didn't get that warm reception
cool.
from Judy when I first met her. She pushed me down on the dance floor at Doug's Christmas party.
It was one of those stories, one of those behind the scenes, but not on air, where the president had a Christmas party and invited all the hosts. So it was dress up to the nines night. And of course, he had great music playing because he wanted all of us youngins to have a good time. And we were all in our 30s. And so they played a song.
Shout.
Yeah. Where you're, shout, and then you go lower and then lower and then lower. And well, I got so low that I fell on my butt. And I think I was so embarrassed, and everybody else was real low too, that I started going around and pushing their shoulders. And all I had to do was that. And they boom, 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 like dominoes all around the dance floor. And he was one of the ones I went boom.
No, I'm glad you had a nice experience.
It wasn't quite the same.
No, she didn't take me to lunch before she pushed me over.
But you fell for her, Paul.
I did.
Oh, very good, Laura. Very funny. Okay, I'm going to pull up another picture and I'll describe to you what everyone is seeing.
Okay.
Because this is you. It was probably very close to a time when you were on the air near Jorge because of all of the home goods things. You're in front of two beautiful Tiffany glass lamps.
Yeah, Tiffany.
That's such a nice picture.
Thank you. And the Tiffany posse, as I call them, are alive and strong, and what a powerful group they are. And I have Tiffany lighting throughout my whole home, so it's near and dear to my heart. But they are strong, and it was such a fun show. Judy, I was thinking this morning as I was getting ready, do you remember, of course you remember, Kirk's Follies, right?
Uh-huh.
What a fun show to do, right?
Well, it's funny that you would say that. I'm wearing Kirk's Folly earrings. Wait, I have to show you because they are, I don't know if you'll be able to see them. Well, you might not, Laura, but I'll show. Can you see them?
Yes,
they're little, it's a little lucky kettle. And there's a little shamrock with green wings. And then what I didn't notice is on the bottom, everything's lucky. So there's a lucky penny, there's a lucky star, and there's a lucky 4-leaf clover. So
what's the item number for that?
Yeah. If they still have them around, I think I've had these for 20 plus years. That's how long I worked with Jennifer Kirk.
Yeah. And so those were fun shows. You waited for those. And there was a following.
Absolutely.
That was really attached to it. It was the same thing with Tiffany Lighting. Great following. We had a great show. People would call in. I remember one time in 1 hour, and I know you guys are going to know how big a deal this is. We took 15 phone calls in 1 hour.
Oh, yeah. That's what kept me going. I loved phone calls. It's kind of like being able to see all of the comments come through here on our Facebook live shows. It's inspiring, and it makes you feel like, okay, somebody's out there. They actually are listening to you. They care what you have to say, and they're engaged. And so when you get a phone call, you knew that, oh, good. Okay, what are we going to talk about? And it was either what you were selling at the moment, or what you had just presented, or something that was coming up, or asking about your mom, or asking about my doggie that I got, all those years ago. Oh, speaking of that, Laura, speaking of pets and animals, I want to ask you about the precious picture that you sent me of your babies. I don't know if they're there, but I want to show everybody your sweet, sweet babies. Tell us who these guys are.
Yeah, and he was just here. I don't know what he went. He probably went up here. This is his
Camera shy.
So the one on the right, I call my little white boy. He's like a little polar bear. He is Ari, and he is going to be 6 years old, and he's a white Persian. And the one on the left, I believe in that picture, is the gray one, and that is Nina. She truly is a princess. She's an exotic long hair. And she is, for some reason, she's beautiful. She's not very bright, but she's she's not very bright, but she's pretty.
Did you say she was blonde?
Well, not good. She has to be reassured all the time. You're pretty. You're pretty.
Well, they are beautiful.
The biggest love bug under the sun.
So cute. Oh, I'm so glad that you told us about them and sent me that picture, because I just feel like it's funny. I was talking in my exercise class this morning with another girl, and we were talking about how we both had dogs. She has a cat now, but we had both had dogs, and we had both lost our dog. And then, you get into this rolling conversation about this and that, and the vaccinations, and then the care, and then losing them. And, both of us were like watering up just talking about our children, our family, for sure.
Those are my kids.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it is. And, we all, pet people are, have big hearts. Many people do rescues, obviously, by looking at my cats. I got them from a breeder, but I'm very particular about cats because my mom, believe it or not, is afraid of cats.
Oh,
really?
Yes. My mom, as growing up as a kid, was terrified of cats. And then 25 years ago, I started to get cats instead of dogs. We always had big dogs. But my lifestyle didn't allow for me to have a dog. It was easier to have a cat. And so when I started to take care of my mom and she came to live here with me, she had to get used to it. But she tells herself, I said, how did you make this transition? She goes, well, I tell myself they're little bears. And I said, so that would be better?
Yeah, that would be better than a cat.
I was mauled by a cat.
Whatever works, Jean, whatever works. Now, you know what? She's more protective over them than I am.
Oh,
so, yeah.
That's how it goes. There was somebody who wrote in a little while ago, and you're going to have a ball going back and looking at all the comments after the show. And she said, can I put this on my show? And you can, Laura, you can share it so that anybody who might have missed it or might not have found the page can watch the show. But it's so cute, the comments that are coming in. And one of the comments was, Laura, where's your hat? So I just want to tell you that we're going to send this to you. Yay! Look at the size of this thing.
This was going to be enough.
Yeah, she didn't want to cover the red hair.
That's true. Well, this is so big that it would just sit on top of the red hair. But isn't that hysterical? Yeah. So this
it used to have a beard, remember?
Yes, it used to have a beard attached. Maybe it still does. Maybe I tucked it up in here. No, that's just the lining. I think we probably cut it off. But we actually, didn't we get this in Ireland?
Yeah.
So Paul and I and the kids took a trip right after we had left QVC and right after we'd gotten married. It was almost like we'd had our own honeymoon. So now this was like a 2-week honeymoon with the kids along. Oh my gosh, we found this and Kyle had to have it and he put it on. We took a picture and then we had to buy it. It was just so funny.
And then we couldn't find the picture.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We were looking through albums like you were trying to find pictures of him.
How old are the kids now?
Kyle is 30 and Kristen is 27.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know.
They were babies. They were so little.
Obviously, they were born when I was 10.
Yeah.
So,
of course, Paul.
Otherwise, that would make me 61. And that's
Okay, Laura,
Podcast on
back to you now because I have a perfect picture to put up. Speaking of all that green, look at Dallas Prince with you
Wow.
on set somewhere. I just love that picture of the two of you. And I want you to tell the story behind it because it's so funny.
Okay, so first of all, Dallas Prince with that
Yes, with that voice. Yes.
that she has. Oh my gosh, such a beautiful voice. This first, Dallas is so lovely. If you think she's lovely on the air, in person, she's just exudes warmth and is just a fabulous human being. And so that day we were in Florida, we were on live remote. We were at the Invicta Marine Pavilion. And unfortunately, we were all getting ready for the big cruise, and everyone was starting to come down, and we were already broadcasting. Heather Hall had come down to Florida, but unfortunately, she was ill when she arrived. And so she had to take that day off to try to get her strength back up to get on the cruise. So Kathy Norton and I, who were at the Marine Pavilion, had to double up our shifts. So I had to be on the air from 7 to 11, which is 4 hours, which if anyone has ever done live TV, it's a long time. And they stacked all the guests. They stacked, Samuel Benham. And then I had Sherry Marcus. And then I believe Chuck may have come on, but Dallas Prince was my last hour. Now, here's the thing. In that picture, you see the water behind. But when I started the show, my back was in the morning sun. And so I was being par roasted the whole morning show. And so I am so hot at this point, and I've still got 4 hours to go. It's very fast paced. Plus, you can kind of see this beautiful wooden table. It was gorgeous. It was like this chunk of wood that was glazed with all the rings of the tree, and they had these beautiful chairs. However, imagine sitting on that chair for hours. And gosh knows, I've got padding back there. The second hour, I looked at the crew in between the break and I said, look, we have a choice. Either I can continue to sit on this chair or I'm going to start to cry to be waterboarded instead. So
it was that bad.
I can't do this anymore. So they switched out the chair quickly. But what started to happen after being par roasted and my legs and my bum becoming numb is there was a morning breeze that started to kick up off of the water. So in all hopes, you would think if the breeze was coming up my back, right, in this way, that would be good. It would be cool and refreshing. No, it came this way. So my hair kept coming right across my face. So now I'm roasted, hot. My legs are numb. My bum is numb. The breeze is coming across my face. I can't see. And now when you look at that picture,
it makes sense.
At me,
yeah,
it makes sense. Dallas Prince, my last hour, she gets ready to come on and she can see I'm melting. I'm worn. She comes up to me and she says, darling, you're going to need to powder your nose and then we're gonna do this. She was such a great shot in the arm, but those are the things you don't see behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a struggle.
Yep. She had I had a similar experience with her, not the hair going sideways, but just like I was desperate. I'd done all my makeup and then I realized that in my makeup bag, because we were in Tucson, I didn't have my lipstick. So she just handed me her lipstick and she said, that color's going to look great on you. and she's just such a generous, lovely human being.
She would have been great on the Let's Make a Deal show because she had everything.
Yeah.
She was always a dedicated photographer as well.
Yep.
And Judy had serious camera envy.
I did.
I should buy the same camera and say, like, this isn't working.
Yeah, why doesn't mine look as good as hers does? Because
she is incredible, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, goodness. That day, we had a makeup artist on set, but she was busy doing someone else. Dallas was like redoing my makeup during the thing. She's like, I got it. She's putting on jewelry. I mean, she's a wonderful person.
Yeah, just so sweet. And speaking of a wonderful person, here's another wonderful person that's on screen right now, and her name is Kimberly Wells. This is the cutest picture. The cutest picture. It looks like she has something a little naughty to share with the audience. And you two are in red, so I'm thinking it's around Valentine's Day.
Well, Kimberly is always naughty. As we know, she is a dear friend to both of us. And when Kimberly is a friend, she's a diehard friend.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
she is there no matter what. And she's an amazing human being. I just love her to death. In fact, we teased yesterday because you said, I love her. And I went, no, I love her more.
I know. I was going to tell that story. It was so funny. I'm like, wait, you stopped me in my tracks.
But she is so much fun on set. She just is. And she does little naughty things that make you giggle and laugh while you're on air, and then leaves you, cracking up and you're trying to regroup because she's, threw you a curveball.
Yeah.
If she could ever come out of her shell, she's so shy.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing?
Yeah.
Actually,
Well,
Laura,
didn't you have fun with her? I mean, when you do jewelry shows with her, she's so good.
Yeah,
yes, and she always studied everything so that it was almost like she didn't need you, because she would ask you a question and then say, isn't it blah, 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 blah. I think, yeah, you just answered your own.
Yeah. I mean,
because she was so well studied in anything she was going to sell.
Caffeine wishes it could be as upbeat as she is.
Yeah.
And I just talked to her the other night. She called me at 11 o'clock at night. And I always tell people, my phone is usually down in the kitchen. My bedroom's upstairs. Call me at any point. If I answer, great. If I don't, then I don't,
Yeah,
I don't.
then I'm sleeping.
She calls me at 11 o'clock, and I pick up the phone and she goes, you're up. And I said, yes. And she goes, great. I need to talk to you. Great. Let's talk. She's just so good and so funny. And, we love her to death.
All right. And how about you in this picture with Paula Dean, another beautiful, lovely, fantastic, upbeat lady?
Yeah. She, there's two stories I want to share with everyone real quick. Paula Dean, number one, I never met her before that picture. So that was kind of a first meeting. And I'm not a great cook. And they put me on the cooking shows, which was kind of in my family, like, are you?
Yeah, me too.
And of course, as I said, Jean, my mom, who's so honest, was like, they've made a mistake. They've made a mistake. Just go ahead and tell them they've made a mistake.
That's
like,
so funny. Yeah, right.
So I go into this cooking show, and I'm like you guys. I prepare. I've got what I think are all my ducks in a row. And I get out there, and she was so fabulous on the air.
Mm-hmm.
And what you don't see when you're watching her on a show is she's constantly like touching you and reassuring you.
Mm-hmm.
Which really, as a host, you're supposed to do that for your guest. She's doing that to us.
Right.
It shows you what a big heart she has. And after the show, she came up to me because I'm like, I hope I did, in my head, I'm thinking, gosh, I hope I did well. I hope she's happy. She came up to me, she put both her, and she's, I'm 5'10" and a half. She's itsy bitsy.
Oh, yeah.
She came up to me real close, put both our hands on my arms, and looked up at me, and she said, I will do a show with you anytime.
Aww.
But just not now.
Now I'm done, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to relax. That's right. That's what she said. I have to tell everyone a story because I think everyone always wants to know, and all the celebrities that you guys work with, and you worked with more than maybe I did, especially being at the Q and at HSN. But
sure.
One of the celebrities that always sticks in my mind with kindness, besides Paula Dean, and there are several others, but Joan Rivers.
Oh, yeah.
So
sure.
Remember many, many moons ago, now this goes back 25 years ago, 26, 27 years ago, I was at QVC with you guys, and I was just learning, right? And there wasn't really a training program in place. And at this time, they said, just sit next to the producer and watch the show. And it happened to be with Joan Rivers. At that time, she had the little Yorkie underneath her arm that she carried around. And I was lost, man. I was like, I think you could see fear in my face. I could see nervousness. I think you could see like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Because I was a news anchor and a producer before I got into home shopping.
I wondered, because when we met at QVC, I didn't know your background at all.
Yeah.
And everybody came from a different background too.
I thought, what have I done? What did I leave, to do this, because I was so nervous.
Sure.
Well, this sweet Joan Rivers comes down after her show. The producer was nice enough to introduce me to her. Now, talk about little. She's like 5 foot in a minute. She's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's me. And she came up to me once again with the little doggy, and she pulled me aside. Now, she's a mother. right? She read everything in my face. I'm going to tear up now. She grabbed a hold of my arm and she said, "You're going to make it, kid.
Oh, that's
Just
so.
hang in there and you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And they brought you in here for a reason and you're going to make it. And I believe in you."
That's
And
fantastic.
off she went with her dog. And I stood there, mouth open, dumbfounded. I think I went back to the dressing room and bawled for like an hour. But I thought,
And called your mom.
and then called my mom. Right. But she was a mother at that point.
Yeah.
She wasn't a celebrity. She saw another daughter who needed that boost and she was there for it. She was fantastic. Just fantastic.
Well, was there any resentment? Like, in other words, you're supposed to make me laugh. You just made me cry.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to leave me with a punchline or something? Come on. Give me something. It was another side of her, and a side I didn't expect, because she was just on the air being so funny, right?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time she was entertaining.
Yes.
And then when I stood back, somebody told me, and I can't remember who it was, they said, "Remember Joan Rivers' history. She's had some hard knocks along the way."
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Talk about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. Yep.
Right.
You're
so
right.
It was her chance to pay it forward.
Right.
To somebody,
Right.
and it was really good. Really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we saw her live
In New York.
At
Uh-huh.
one point, and oh my gosh, we laughed so hard my sides hurt. Really, just so funny, but also so gracious and so generous. She was also such, those are the kind of things that you remember, and what a great way to be remembered.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
So-
I told that story to many people because I do want. She has a wonderful memory without me, but I want people to know that there was another side to her that was so wonderful. Really.
Oh
great.
yeah. And how about this guy, Mr. Chuck Clemency?
Chuck.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And he looks very pensive here. He's concentrating very hard, and you're kind of trying to help him along. And was this the same day that your hair was blowing sideways?
No, that was another day.
Another day.
If you notice, they moved me to a different area.
Yeah.
Thank
They're
goodness.
like, her hair can't
Please-
take that again.
Please tell me you made fun of his shirt on the air. Please tell me that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I had to, because Chuck, boy, I've known Chuck for 30 years because he started at Value Vision, and I can remember being on the air and looking over at him, and he was this like really young, innocent little guest who was really, kind of pensive about what to do. And now we know a different Chuck, don't we? Chuck and I have had so much fun over the years. Now, that picture was the first time we had been together in 16 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow. On air together.
Mhm. And so he came out there, his wife, Kathy was there.
Yeah.
Kathy was there. He came out on the set because it was such a big deal for at least for him and I to be reunited. He came out and he hugged me so hard and kissed me on the cheek, and he said, "I am so excited about this today." And my heart swelled, and we sat there and we had a fabulous hour and talked jewelry like nobody can talk jewelry like Chuck. And Paul, from being one of the three amigos.
Oh,
What a mood he can be.
he was. There were so many unscripted, genuine, hilarious moments that you can't recreate that.
Yeah.
You wish you'd caught all that on camera. Talk about a blooper reel.
And, and I would be
comes back
I'd be
around.
on the air throwing him under the bus for one reason or another. He comes right out.
Throw you right back.
Same thing. I'll be in the green room. He says something about me, and then I'm out there slinging it back at him.
Well,
Just
what? It was
amazing.
years and years ago. Chuck and I always did the Saturday night show when he was in town, when I was a host before at Shop NBC and Value Vision. So we were always together on that night. And we would laugh and he would tease, he would tease like nobody's business, right? There was a time that we had a guest who came from Italy, and I believe obviously it was gold, but I think he did something else, but his name was Marco. He was so good looking. Oh my God.
Hey, you're live. Just want you to know this.
He
This
was
is going out
so
over
good look. Wait, hold on. Let me take a sip here. Whoa.
Yes, cool off there for a moment, Laura.
He was cool.
So it wasn't the son at the Invicta Pavilion. It was Marco.
It was Marco. So Chuck and I are on the air, right? And Marco comes into the studio, walks past the set to go to his set. And I'm like a dog, you know, Marco. And of course, Chuck picks up on this and he's like, what is going on with you? And I said, well, you know, Marco is here and he's so good looking. And Chuck goes, you know, we're twins, right? No, you're not.
Well, there are a lot of things that came to your mind at that point, what you wanted to say, right?
Wait, let me introduce you to a mirror, Chuck.
And so from this point on to this day, Chuck thinks he looks like Marco.
And he does.
I feel like I'm looking in the mirror.
Just tell him he does. It makes it a lot easier on all of us. Just tell him that.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. So I have another one that takes us all back even more than or further than all of these stories. So I'll put up the one of us all those years ago. Where the heck were we? Jill Bauer is there. Models, old models were there. Fashion Channel hosts are there. What a great picture.
And, you know, look at Jill. We even said this yesterday. She looks like she's 12.
Yes, I know. Oh my gosh,
so young.
Fun. She did. This one, your eyes are closed. You can see.
She's dreaming of Marco.
No, I think she's showing off how good her makeup looks. No, really, your eyeshadow was perfect in that picture.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But you know what? It was, first of all, I looked past you and I, Judy, and I kept looking at Jill going, oh my gosh, she just looks so, she looks so fresh faced in that picture. She really did. Not that she don't look good now. She looks fantastic now.
She does.
It really took us back because she was a very, at the time when they hired, she was very young.
Oh yeah. And now married and babies and a great career going on. Yeah. I mean, she really has done well. It's just so much fun to see those pictures. And I have another one I want to ask you about. And I know you did not know I was going to show this, but on your Facebook page, there's this fantastic picture that you had made. Oh, look at the bird sitting on the, oh my gosh. Sorry. I interrupted. Let me interrupt my commercial. Your profile page that has 5 people in it. And there are a couple of boys around you and a couple of girls around you, and your heads couldn't be closer together. And it's on your profile page that you changed into a more updated one. Do you remember this? Who are these people?
Well, the guy on the bottom is Paul. He did some, did he do electronics or home stuff?
That's probably a picture of all the guests, right? So
yeah, that's it. It's so cute. It's like a Hollywood picture. It belongs in a magazine. I love that shot.
Yeah, there's Paul Ryan there, Elliott Smith, Gwen Goodman, Ann Sutmar, and there may have been somebody else. Is that all of us? 5?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, yep.
Okay, so what it was probably is we were in the green room because when you were a guest there, as you guys know, you lived in the green room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And especially that picture was taken during the holidays. We were there round the clock.
Yeah.
We would bring in, and it was everyone's, we would determine who was going to do it. Everyone brought in like trays of food, and we'd have some of our blankets thrown around because you camped out there for 12 and 15 hours a day. Those were long days. So that was a fun moment when I think we were so tired we were loopy.
Oh yeah.
I've been there.
Oh yeah. We've definitely, and Paul could tell you some stories in the green room. Speaking of the 3 amigos who would be there for 17 hours on end. He's like, I'm really hungry. Too bad. You got to go on now. I really have to go to the bathroom. Oh, too bad. Hold it.
You got another half hour.
Paul doesn't always play well with management in many places. Because if you don't want to hear the truth, don't ask Paul's opinion.
No, but here's a funny story though, Laura, and you probably would remember these days too, because obviously you were doing all of your home goods preparations in the background while they would have beauty guests come in for beauty day, and then they would have the jewelry guests come in. Oh, Paul was so funny because they would go all out for the beauty guests. The green room would be, they would wheel in the tables of food and drinks, and then they'd be overflowing into the other green rooms. And then we
got nothing. The three amigos didn't even get a taco.
You had a cracker and a cup of coffee.
No.
Not even the cracker. No. tell him about Marvin Siegel, because he was in the green room and these guys were like, okay, A, B,
Yeah,
C,
yeah.
all
I
the way
said-
to C, and
I'm
Marvin
I'm
went
like,
out.
seriously? I said, we can't go to the bathroom. We can't get anything to eat.
So he ran out and got something for you, didn't he?
One of those crazy donut things that were famous up there. I forget what it was. But yeah, he did. Marvin was very nice about that.
It was
yeah.
very,
Yeah, he was good about that. His dad would not have allowed that to happen. So Marv probably felt that inner, I've got to fix this.
Well, and the other thing was about the beauty guests, not to throw them under the bus. They always had an entourage of like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And back then there was only one green room. So it's like,
I,
and like we're trying to like do things like actually prepare for our shows, use the lone
use the
computer.
Yeah.
And of course they're checking about shows from 17 years ago. And it's like, what the?
You know what? It's true, because they came in and then we thought we camped out. They had more stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get you're in the world of beauty. I get that, but stop. Okay.
So I just started hiring random people to come in for my show. So I could have an entourage.
Yeah, just to have people.
I didn't make any money up there because I just had to pay for the entourage.
My favorite is they would come in for like to do 1 hour, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they'd be there 3 hours in advance.
Yeah.
They were there to do 1 hour. I had been there for 3 days prior and was on like and one would come up and go, could you teach me how to fold a fitted sheet?
No. Go out and look at the wall of towels I just put up.
Yeah.
Get a flip and
Now's a
fold.
good time.
In fact, I'm going to smother you with my pillow.
Sure, lay in the bed, lay down, and let me put this pillow right here.
How does that feel?
Oh, and all these people who are watching, they had no idea we were all so mean.
Yes. Oh, I think they had an idea about me.
Oh,
No, we had some really great times. Paul, one thing you may not know is that when Judy and I were back at QVC, and you were a ball of fun, Judy. You were always on the go. Do you remember Tallulah Bell?
I was going to tell that story, but I'd rather you tell it, because you're such a good storyteller. But that was the most amazing thing. But tell them about the set it all up, because we were just the two of us, two single girls having a great time, laughing it up, having a glass of wine, sitting in front of the fireplace. And so you're on.
Okay, so Judy had this beautiful, beautiful townhome. I mean, you don't give yourself the credit that you should. You're an amazing decorator within yourself. So
I keep trying to tell her that.
Oh,
yes, she is. So it's this beautiful townhome, and oftentimes Judy would be like, "Come over here now. Come over here. Don't sit in your apartment by yourself. Come over." And she would cook, and we would have a glass of wine.
Whoa! She would cook?
Yeah. She would. Judy. Judy,
I did?
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, she never made anything.
It was catered.
Nothing. Not a thing. Couldn't even put together a sandwich.
Where does the turkey go? And
So
anyway,
she was so good about that, but we got to be this really great friendship that we would, call at any point of the day, because we were, as she said, both single. So I get this call. Now, mind you, in Pennsylvania, it had just started to snow, this beautiful snow. Judy calls me at like 10 o'clock at night. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, nothing. She said, "Great. I just got this great car, this great truck." She tells me, "Great truck.
oh
And I'm
my,
going to swing by and I'm going to pick you up."
yes.
I'm like, "You got a truck." I mean, Judy, you little itsy bitsy. She got a truck. And I'm like,
I love that truck. Got a
okay,
white.
so what
Go
happens is she pulls up in front of my condo. I run down and I stand there for the longest time going, huh? Because it is this big Bronco. Do you remember those Bronco SUVs?
It was white.
You needed I'm 5'10" and a half. I needed a step ladder to get into it. There's Judy behind me. Get in next to her, and I'm like, "What did you do? What did you get this for?" She goes, "Because it's going to be fun. Let's go."
Who are you? What have you done with Judy?
Well, my friend. Yeah, exactly.
So we're driving through the back roads of Pennsylvania. It's snowing in this big Bronco. and we had a ball. We had more fun. I think I shed a tear along with you when you sold that, because we had so much fun. We named it that night. We named it Tallulah Bell.
Yes.
She names all of her cars.
Yes, it's true. I had an Audrey for a while. Love that car. But I have to name them. Oh, and then remember
Judy
the
Mobile.
Judy Mobile.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Kristen, his daughter, named that car. But you haven't told the rest of the story.
No, then you go. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't really?
No.
Okay. So the night that I remember that story and sitting in front of the fireplace.
Was there alcohol? I hope there wasn't alcohol.
Seriously? Is that even a
We
question?
have to have an excuse for these stories. Do you remember we were trying to name the car, and then but we were also talking about Bruce Willis and Demi Moore.
Yes.
It's
And
coming
guess
back.
what they named their daughter?
Tallulah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And Laura, I mean, I'm sure I called you or you called me. We're like, I know. Okay, because this was the craziest name. And you're like, we should call her Tallulah Bell. Like, who would name a car Tallulah Bell? And the very next day, this little baby girl was named, I don't know if it was Tallulah Bell, but it was Tallulah. And at that, I just never forgot that night.
Clearly,
So much
they
fun.
were Shopping Channel fans.
Because we must have talked about it in a walk-on,
Yes, absolutely. It was so crazy fun. And you know what? I think it's because, that was the time when QVC was really breaking out and people were like home shopping and getting on the ball, and it became stressful. So we needed those times when we could let loose and just laugh our butts off, because we had stress on one side and we needed to blow off steam, and we sure did it.
Oh my gosh, we did. And this has been so much fun. So this has your name on it. Since you didn't have a hat, but we were bad. She outdid us with her green drink. I want to see that again.
Yeah.
It's called the Shamrock Fizz.
That you have to send us the ingredients, because we might have to make that on Wednesday.
It's apple juice, 7-Up, and vodka.
Okay.
Oh,
We have those things.
apple juice, 7-Up, and vodka.
And
Yeah,
then
don't
you can put a little sprinkle of green Jello, a little sprinkle of the dry, and that's what turns it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Love it. And we love you.
Yes.
And we
thank
thank
you
you
for being
so
here.
much for being a guest today. How much fun. And I did promise everybody there would be stories.
And there were.
Love you guys so much.
You
we love
You're
you too.
longtime friends. You'll always be friends.
And give our hugs and love to Jean.
Jean.
Yay, I will. Thanks so much, you guys.
Oh, thank you, Laura. See you soon. I hope.
Yeah.
And talk to you sooner.
You got it. You got it.
All right. Thank you. Bye, honey.
Bye.
Oh,
That
how
was
fun. Yeah. Isn't she just the greatest? I love her. So I'll take the host thing down. That's a little silly looking. I put up our little chirons under our
I
names,
gotcha.
just in case people didn't know who we were.
Who am I?
But isn't she cute?
She's the best.
She's just so full of energy, full of life.
She brought
Great
those
stories.
cats into the studio sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, and she would always talk about her kitty cats and
Yeah.
who was going through what and what did this the night before and all those kinds of good things. So I know we've gone way over our
over
normal
time.
time, but I do have a couple things if you have a little time. And if not, that's okay. Go on about your business and go about your merry way. And you can always check in with us later, because we're going to be back next weekend for
Yep.
sure. As far as I know, we're around.
Telling you stories of what happened on St. Patrick's Day.
Exactly. And sharing pictures, maybe. But
And,
so
hat.
we showed you our, oh yeah, we're going to have to be wearing these again.
Yeah.
And I hope my blouse comes in time to wear that.
Oh, look, there's a slow burn.
There's a slow
Okay.
burn. Yeah.
All right.
That's the one that I wore last year. So when I put up the picture promoting the show,
All right, I'll
it
turn
was
it
that
off.
hat. I'm like, oh, my hat's going to be so much better this year. Actually, this is the best hat of all. I mean, is that hysterical? I want to wear it this way because I think the buckle should be on the front. Paul said, no, you have to put the shamrock on the front. I'm like, then the buckle would be on the side. Which way do you think it should be worn?
That doesn't matter.
Just wear it.
It's a dealer's choice.
Oh my gosh, it's just the silliest hat. But anyway, how would you like to talk about the video real quick that you uploaded yesterday on your
and by the
YouTube
way,
channel?
it's so funny. I didn't show this in the promo, but I did a mea culpa for not doing it last week because we were caught out of town.
Oh,
And I had we should have put it in there because we had a little cat saying sorry.
oh.
But no, this is the fourth of my mini series, and it's on andradite garnet.
Okay, so let's see what that looks like.
Well, this week we're going to continue in our mini series on lesson on garnets. In this case, it is the androdite variety of garnet. So garnet, garnet on the wall. Who's the rarest of them all? Okay, I get it. That was a very cringeworthy moment for me to even do that. The first is called demantoid garnet, which is a vivid green color and one of the most valuable gemstones in the world, particularly if it has a coveted horsetail. Now, melanite is a black variety of garnet, and it's also pretty rare. Why would you want a black garnet, which is going to be very expensive, when there's so many great alternatives to black gemstones, some of even with sparkle like the black spinel? Melanite's not really my cup of tea. Very expensive, so why spend a ton of money on something that's called topazolite when you could get a citrine that would look very similar at a fraction of the cost?
Okay. A black garnet.
Yeah, I wouldn't want one. I mean, not for the price.
No.
Okay.
Why would it be so expensive though? I don't
Because it's
understand.
rare.
Because it's so rare.
Yeah. There's the topazolite is actually more rare than even demantoid. It's one of the most expensive gems on earth.
I'm admitting that I didn't watch your video yet.
Uh-oh.
Do I get a demerit?
You get a big demerit.
So that is available on Paul's channel, which,
Over
as you know,
1,200 subscribers.
yeah,
now.
this is an old, that's an old picture of your channel. By the way, I don't think I've ever shown you guys, because a lot of people watch the videos on their phones, on their mobile devices. So if you're on your mobile device, that would be what Paul's channel would look like. And then you could go through and see, oh, sorry, no lesson today. That's just such a funny picture. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that that's what the channel looks like if you're going to it from your phone. And I think that's kind of valuable to know, because when you see the other side, you're like, when does the picture ever look like that if you're on your laptop or a desktop? That's what
and your latest creation?
My latest creation. So it comes out tomorrow morning. Very fun. I had such a good time with this. In fact, I think that the music's up a little too loud, but I liked it anyway.
Judy's very motivated by music.
In fact, yes, I am. I'm motivated by music to do everything. And even when we go to class, if I go to class, the instructor will look at me like, music's not loud enough, is it? No, it needs to be louder. So this is coming up tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock on my YouTube channel. And it is all about, it's an arm workout. People seem to love that, an at-home arm workout using resistance
Judy
bands.
Crowell arms.
Yes, to get Judy Crowell arms. So check this out, and you'll be able to see the full thing tomorrow. Take that same strap, put it around your hands, and remove your thumbs from that strap. Now turn your left palm or your right palm down and your left palm up. You're going to put your right palm down on your right thigh, and your left hand comes up into a bicep curl, pull back into an upright row, bring it forward again, and then come down. Okay, you got it? Here we go. Bring it up, pull back, forward, come down, stomach tight, pull back, forward and down, up and back. Keep tension on that strap. Good. Up and back, forward and down. Now bring it up, pull it back, and pulse it. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Good. Pulse, pulse, pulse. And keep that right palm on that right thigh. Good. Pulse, pulse, and hold it. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring it down. Woo! Feels good, doesn't it? Shoulders up, back, and down. I thought that was kind of, I'm like, it's just so natural, you know, you're in there and in the moment, and woo, I'm sure this is how you feel too. So in the video, if you don't have the resistance bands yet, but you want to do it and you have some hand weights or soup cans, you can do this exact same moves with those instead. So that's just something to kind of know if you want to try it out. And then here is, just as a reminder, my YouTube channel. And then I circled all the little playlists. So if you wanted to be able to go directly to, oh, Mariana, see another person who loves the arm workouts, but there's a Get Fit with Judy and In the Kitchen with Paul and Judy, the Sunday FUNDAYs I put up there. And then the Kathy Levin picture is in one I put on air shows. Do you know, I get comments constantly about that broadcast because it lands on their Facebook pages and shows up on their phones, and they watch the video and say, "Oh my gosh, there you guys are."
There you are.
Yeah. And this is, again, the mobile device, what it looks like. And then the one I was talking about where Kathy is, all those are all still there. All you have to do is click playlists at the top and you'll see those same areas. And then that is the Instagram page. So they'll show up in all of those places tomorrow, just so you kind of have access to the different social media platforms. I want you to know how to get to them, right?
That's right.
So I guess that kind of covers it.
long show. We appreciate you
But
being there.
very, very fun. And
Yeah.
I look forward to going back through and being able to read the comments personally and be able to answer any questions or comment on some of the things that you mentioned or that you really liked. So, and we have another guest coming up in 2 weeks.
Who is?
Connie Craig
Oh,
Carroll.
that's right. That's going to be fun.
She has just introduced a jewelry line
On
HSN.
Yeah,
So it'll be really fun to see how that's going and what inspired her.
absolutely.
Anything else?
No, I think if you're going to celebrate this St. Patrick's Day, be safe,
Absolutely.
have fun.
Have a good time.
That's what it's about.
Uber there and back.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Gobrel.
Right. And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Love you guys. Happy Sunday Funday.